This is the deck I used to get Grandmaster at the start of the year. Literally January 1st at like midnight is when I got it. And the highlight game this time around is truly insane. It's the qualifying match I had, the final boss to get to Grandmaster. You're going to want to watch it. But basically, it's Evolved Sword. Really, really strong deck. Has been for a while now. We've known that it's going to be good because it was in the World Championships last set. And now it's only gotten more tools with Unkei Goldbloom being a huge factor here. This card is super good to take out Intimidate, which was the deck's biggest weakness, right? Like if you fight against Dragon and they lay down an Intimidate like an Ernst or a Willness, you literally can't do anything. But now you have Unkei to take care of that. It's also good against other threats on the current meta scale like Zwei. This can take out the Zwei behind the ward puppets, so really, really good card here. And when you super her, you get that infinite value of just, well, not infinite, but a lot of value with the glittering gold being added to your end of your turn. We also have the new card Uluan Raging Chariot. Now I know what you're thinking, Clown Fiesta card when you evolve it, but really we mostly play him just for the AoE effect. It's really, really strong. And him and Golden Knight are only two pulls off of Lyria Sky Destined, so you're pretty likely to get these. Golden Knight, of course, being an amazing auto-evolve card that helps with the whole evolve game plan of the deck. What is that game plan? Of course, Sandalphon Primarch Successor. If you evolve 6 times, it gets invoked, and also when it's in your hand and you have the Super Skybound art active, it does a whopping 10 to the dome if you're able to clear the enemy board, and you have lots of tools to clear the enemy board, like the glittering golds you get off of Unkei, which is helpful for that kill turn, as well as, of course, Graningida, which is a, mid-game draw or late-game clear with a Sandalphon on the same turn. The rest of the cards just help you get there. We have the Emilia to draw through. We have the Gildaria, which is an auto-evolve, but also is really great for clearing boards, which is fantastic because this is essentially a control deck. And then we have the one of Albert Levin Stormsaver to get a lot of chip in if you're able to find a clear turn for him to come down. Also pretty nice because you just super evolve the Owlbear. It does 3 to the enemy board, and then if you have the Grimnir effect up, it actually does 5 to the enemy board. So a lot of time you can just play the Owlbear, go face, and then the Grimnir plus the AoE does the rest. Other than that, we have a lot of board flood tools. The new card Serenity Shield is fantastic in this deck, summoning 2 copies of Night on the turn 2, but very importantly, summoning 4 copies of Night on the enhanced forward. This is significantly stronger than it reads. Play it alongside the Sailphone for an insane amount of evolves, right? And that helps you to get to the Sandalphon invoke, as well as, boosting the Skybound gauge of that Sandalphon once it's in your hand with the Serenity Shield Sailphon combo. Sailphon also comboing with Luminous Mages, of course. That all also works well with the Emilia getting Barrier too. But also, very importantly, you can extra play point out Serenity Shield, or, whenever you have the opportunity to play Serenity Shield for the enhanced 4, and then you can buff it up with Zirconia, which is very hard for the opponent to deal with, especially if you're able to do it on curve, and then they have a hard time clearing. Let me tell you what. Zeta Bea, of course, is just really good on either 4 to deal with early aggression, or on 6 to get some face in while dealing with a big enemy threat. Finally, to round it all off, we have the Devotee of Usurpation. I was considering cutting this in favor of the Lance Trooper, but I was talking to competitive player Glow, and he convinced me to keep it in because he said, bro, Goblet wins games. You just heal out of range, because a lot of decks have a certain calculus of how much damage they can do. That Goblet saves lives, and I was like, you're so right. Heal Elise, for a similar reason, healing out of range, clearing enemy boards, as well as Sweetness of Veracity, which can help supplement late game damage as well. And okay, fine, if you're really in a pinch and it's an unwinnable game, you can play the Uluan, all right, for the evolve and try and scam a win that way. But really, you gotta resist the temptation, okay? Because you gotta have faith that this deck can win on its own merits and its own game plan. All right, let's jump into the match. Like I said, it is a crazy one. Okay, going first against Dragoncraft, I was really looking for the opportunity to Unkei one of their threats, because I know if it's Ramp Dragon, I'm going to need that Unkei for tons of different Intimidates, and also just that, kind of infinite value. Going first here, no need to save the 2-drop Serenity Shield for an extra play point into the Zirconia. Unfortunately, they got that Sloth of the Crest Petal, which is a really good spell, took out my board there. But it's okay, because I have the Grimnir to follow up. And then I'm not playing Zirconia on 4 anyway, so it's totally fine. I can just play Grimnir again, or do whatever with the current hand. Zeta Bea getting picked up off the top is really good here, because now I can trade, and then I will have a board for Zirconia if they can't full clear, and I already saw a Crest Petal out. Unfortunately, that Galmu coming in with that extra play point, able to clear my board pretty easily for him, which is also a little tough because he also gets that 0-cost Fangs, which is just value for him later on too. At this point, I'm still not sure if he is playing Storm Ramp or Evolve Dragon. Both are pretty popular on the ladder right now. I was looking at the SV Labo statistics, and it seems as though most popular class in Epic/Beyond or Epic 2 Beyond tier is Portalcraft, then it's Sword, and then it's Rune, and then it's Dragon. But they're all pretty even, so lots of different lists running around for all of them, really. Not a great turn here, so I'm just going to play the Grimnir and the Lyria. I already have Golden Knight and Uluan in hand, so it's not like Lyria is pulling much anyway. I only have 1 copy of the others in the deck, so one Lyria in hand is fine. Next turn is likely Uluwan or an Unkei to get rid of I was expecting extra play point Willness, but seeing the Neptune here, I'm like, still not sure what it could be, but leaning towards Evolve now, so I'm factoring for that. Of course, this is where the Uluwan regular effect is so strong. Just slam it down and clear everything and just don't even think about it. Again, you gotta really resist the temptation to Evolve and go to the Dome. Then I saw the Willness and I'm like, okay, is this Evolve? Is this ramp? I actually have no clue. But regardless, it is going to be the Lyria into the Unkei. This is exactly what you put Unkei in the deck for, to get you that out against Intimidate, and because I have this free opportunity and a lot of free evolves in the hand, well, at least one with the Golden Knight, I'm like, all right, I'll evolve to get the Glittering Gold. It's also a draw engine for me to potentially pick up, you know, the important tools like Seophone later in the game. They play Yubei, and when the Yubei comes out, I'm like, okay, probably evolve. Just with one Willness in it or something weird like that. Seems likely. Yubei is more run in Evolve. I personally don't run Yubei in mine, but it seems to be getting more and more popular in Evolve Dragon recently, especially with a lot of high-ranking players posting lists of Evolve with Yubei in it. So I'm like, okay, likely to be Evolve, so let's factor for that. First, let's draw through our deck, trying to find our Seophone or something, which would obviously be very nice, but no such luck. Instead, we're just going to play Zeta Bea. It's going to be able to clean up real nice. I'm going to save the boots because I know they have a lot of free evolves. I have a lot of free evolves, but if I can get a way to answer their board without spending my last point or without spending an evolve, then I might be able to outlast them in the long game. And I think that I might have to go to the long game. You might think that it's already the long game because it's turn 10, but oh no, we are just getting started. This is a crazy one. So, Gran and Jita come out for that deal 5. It does end up taking a pretty good target there in the Liu Feng, which is nice. And then because I'm on turn 10, I'm like, all right, good opportunity for me to go ahead and get these Gale Nalises in so that I have the sweetnesses already in hand for if they place down something that is, you know, easily taken out with a sweetness of Veracity. That way, I'm able to preserve my evolve once again while also dealing damage to their dome. They play Mega Lorca, they get another Mega Lorca, infinite value engine. It's not hard to see why the evolved decks now play Yubei, right? It's just because infinite value is good, especially in a game where you're going long and control goes long. So I totally understand it. Now I'm thinking, all right, well, simply hit the 50-50, and it does. The replay doesn't show this, but I took a long time considering that play, and it ended up working out, so that's good. Getting that other Glittering Gold in hand, and this is also factoring for potential overdraw. How many evolves am I at right now? I'm still only at 4, so never mind. I lied. It wasn't factoring for overdraw, but still it's fine because this means I have the flexibility to play like Devotee the turn after without having to worry about having to spend my loots in order to keep my hand size stable. Anyway, get another draw in. It's another Unkei, which is nice. I see one Sandalphon down. Now, usually Evolve Dragon only plays 1 to 2. So I'm thinking in my mind, like, okay, that's 1 down. I can heal out of it and get out of the range of the rest of their game plan, because outside of Sandalphone, they don't have that much damage. It's kind of their main guy, whereas I have the Owlbear, I have Uluwan in a pinch, I guess, but you know what I mean. So I'm like, okay, as long as I can outlast that, then I should be sitting pretty. Go ahead and go for the draw. I finally get my Seophone about dang time, and I go ahead and play the Unkei, and I think that the infinite value is definitely worth considering. I end up going for it, super evolving the Unkei for even more Glittering Golds, which is pretty good. And now that I got another Serenity Shield, I'm like, okay, well, I have 1 Serenity Shield to combo with Seophone the next turn. Might as well spend 1 now and make it a little harder if they have the other Seophone in hand, right? Because now there's a full board that he has to contend with potentially. The other Meg comes down, and of course the Fangs is going to clean this up real nice, but it's a turn that he's not playing Seophone, so Sandalphone. Their names are very similar, sorry. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I invoke the Sandalphon here, and I end up just playing Serenity Shield into Sailphone here, like I mentioned earlier, because now it's time I get to make a huge board, make it hard for them to clear as well, and I boost my Sandalphone's gauge. Again, just trying to make things inconvenient for his second Sandalphone, which I identify as his only other source of damage, really. The Phylene comes down, which is really, really strong here, and I'm like, okay, well, at least that got last super out of him, so that's, you know, kind of acceptable, I guess. So I'm not too fussed about it. I end up drawing with the Amelia first, getting a Gildaria, which is nice, and no need to spend my guys, just playing the Uluwan here. And I have to spend a coin there so I don't overdraw, because I'm going to get another coin, and I need that hand size, because at this point in the game, we're going down to, you know, less than 15 cards in deck for both of us. Every card really matters in the long game, especially since with Sword, I know my cards have a lot of value. Get the Gildaria in hand. I go ahead and play Golden Knight here. That's the second Sandalphone out of them. So I'm like, okay, I win. They're out of damage. Right. So let's see how we go from there. Again, spending the coin just to make hand space. Unfortunately, these coins not ending up doing much. That's because I was able to have the, you know, Golden Knights in hand on time, but I still think it was fine to spend the super on the Unke there. With the benefit of hindsight, maybe it would have been like, save the super, don't need those coins, but you don't know that. You don't know that going in, right? So, all right, so they play another 4/4 2/2 turn. It's like, whatever, it's fine. Gildaria, just make an entire board. They can't handle it, and I'm at this point, I'm thinking this is a locked game because both Sandalphones out on their end, so totally chill, right? Well. Megalorca comes out with the Grand Angita as well. This is going to get a lot of value, a lot of value, especially with the Crest Petal. And the Crest Petal was actually able to hit the 7/5, which I thought was bad because they would have been able to trade the Grand Angita into it, but it turns out it didn't matter because they had the ability to just play double Orcas here and clear my 7/1 anyway, and, you know, respect the 5/1 body still that I have to deal with. I really misplayed that turn. Pause. Go back. I was just talking about how each of the draws are really, really valuable. When I played that Devotee, I forgot to spend a Glittering Gold to make hand space, and that ended up costing me a lot here. And I remember it too, during the game, I played that Devotee and I was like, and I ended the turn, and then I was like, oh! Straight up Homer Simpson style, because as you see now, I ended up overdrawing, and it was really bad. I ended up overdrawing a freaking Zeta Bea, which that happened, and I was like, oh no, that's bad, that's really bad. But still in my mind, I'm like, okay, should still be fine, should, because I saw two Sandals come out on their end. Sloppy play. It was getting to like turn 5 quadrillion, so my bad, but that was definitely a huge oversight, and I messed that one up. But still winnable, all right? So we see an Ernst come down. I'm thinking, okay, maximally 2 more Ernsts. I just have to last in the long game. At this point, right, we're both at 7 cards left in deck. I'm thinking deck out is likely the win con for both of us. He has infinite healing with 2 more Ernsts. I'm out of damage too. My Sandalphon is out. But I know I have Owlbear in the deck that could help out to seal the deal with damage. However, it's likely with his list and his amount of board and his amount of sustain that it is going to go to deck out. So, and I'm thinking it's going to be easy because, you know, Sandals are out. All I have to do is sustain him, and he's further into the deck than I am. So really, all I have to do is not draw, and this should be a lock. We're at turn 20, get another Sailphone, but it's fine. All I got to do here is just play Gildaria and trade and sit. There's no need to really commit any more resources there. I did deliberate playing the Zirconia, but again, I have boots in hand, and my thought is every card in my hand matters, especially after milling that Zeta Bea. If I didn't mill that Zeta Bea, maybe I could have played Zirconia here, but because of my misplay there, not getting the coin out of hand in time to prevent an overdraw from the Devotee, I have to preserve every resource. And with Zirconia boots, that could potentially take out another body that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. If I played Zirconia that turn and he had a wide clear, perhaps with another Phylene, or just a way to clear with the Fangs, or another Meg, or whatever it is. I would be one card down in the sustain / staying alive sort of resource battle that we're in right now, because really every single point matters. Every single marginal decimal point is going to end up mattering in this game, and it ends up being way more relevant than even I thought, okay? Because here comes another Liu Feng, they clear my board. I'm like, all right, I got the answer for this. Phylene come down, so I know they have another Whisper. They can Fangs Whisper clear anything I do at all. So I'm thinking, how do I answer this with minimal commitment? Go in with the Devotee, Goblet to heal back up, and then the gold finally ended up being a little relevant. So I used it to clear the Phylene there. Was it worth it to mill a Zeta Bea to clear a 2/2? Absolutely not. That was still bad, but we still used it. Still got to use every little bit, right? Can't waste any of the meat. All right. They go in, and this is when I was shook, okay? Because they played third Sandalphone, and I'm like, who does that? Who has that? And now I'm down to 7. So I am terrified, and I think I've lost this game. I need to get him to 0 cards in deck. If he runs even one other Stormer, how many Galmews out at this point? All 3. So it can't be her. What he has to have is Genesis Dragon. Very possible. I've seen people run it as a 1 of or a 2 of. That Sandalphone coming down, I'm like, I might be chopped. All right? That is really potentially very, very bad. So let's see what we can do. First, I just Zirconia and Seophone. This puts a board up in case, but no wards. So a Genesis would be my doom here. However, it is just Ernst, and I'm like, okay, Ernst is bad, but it's not disastrous, like, just a game ender would be. So again, just play Seophone. Run it in, pass. Using as few resources as possible. In fact, on that previous turn, maybe I shouldn't have even played Zirconia, right? Just kept it in hand. Another Ernst comes down. This is Ernst number 3. Right? Double check. It's been so long. Yep, that's the 3rd one. I'm like, okay. If he plays Genesis, it's definitely in the bottom 2. Because otherwise, obviously, he would have just killed me. So, I'm thinking either it's in the bottom 2 or he doesn't play it at all. The latter being much better for me. So just commit minimally. Play Luminous. This is the game-winning line. Because it prevents Genesis from coming down. But, it might still be dead if he has Genesis because of Fangs. He's already played 8 Fangs. I haven't kept track. Obviously, this is turn 24. So I kind of lost track. Forgive me. But if he has another Fangs and he has Genesis, he could go Genesis, Fangs, Fangs, go face. But I'm like, I just got to play to my outs and hope that is not happening, right? So play the Magus, go in through the long game. Meg comes down. I breathe a sigh of relief, but it's really not over yet. It's really, really not over yet. I know there's a Fangs in the hand now. So for sure, there's a Fangs in hand now. So if the last card is Genesis, I lose. Draw the card. Owlbear is able to clear. I spend the boots here. That was a misplay. I should have just gone in, saved the boots for later, but I don't think it mattered anyway because this is do or die. So really it didn't matter, but just to keep in mind for future games, I suppose. Always make sure you're playing the optimal lines no matter what, just so that you're getting into those habits. But then, the last card wasn't Genesis. And honestly, should have seen it coming. 3 Sandalphones, no room. But that was still really clutch. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out the video on screen right now, where I take a look at another Evolved deck, Evolved Dragoncraft, which is also doing really well on the ladder.